Buckle up tight, take a seat, that's right. Welcome to the jam where we shed the light on safety tips, tricks, and things to know. We're traffic pros here to steal the show. Traffic jam, stay cool and learn the plan. Safe on the road, every child, every man. With wisdom from the experts, you'll be in command. Let's talk safety, traffic jam is the brand. Turn signals flash like they're saying hey. Eyes on the road, never drift away. Legends in the lanes, got advice to share. We've got the goods, so you're prepared out there. Crash test dummies, not in your fate. Stick around, don't procrastinate. Questions, answers, knowledge flows. Time for some fun with safety pros. Traffic jam, stay cool and learn the plan. Safe on the road, every child, every man. With wisdom from the experts, you'll be in command. Let's talk safety, traffic jam is the brand. So rev up, keep it spinning fast. Traffic tips that forever last. Stay sharp, stay bright, go and take a stand. Traffic jam has got you in hand. Stand.
Good morning. How's it going? What's happening? What's going down? I meant to do something. I was doing it there. Apparently, I need to trim my background. There we go. Woo. Green screen's a magical thing, but sometimes it needs a little help. Okay, I am. I just type a description so I can upload a video. It's terrible. It says my name. This is my dictation said. My name is Sean Chaperone. No, it's Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer who talks traffic safety, traffic law, and all things policing. That's what it misunderstood when I spoke. Yeah. What's going on with you? Hope you're having a great day. If you don't know me, I am who I said I just was when I was reading something. I am the guy on the internet who's here to answer your traffic and police questions, trying to make roads safer for everybody. And I do that by using social media, and I make myself available. I have the distinct benefit and pleasure of thanking my sponsors. I have Barrett Legal and Diamond Lawyers. Between them, they make sure the lights are on. They help me pay for the show. And people say, well, pay for what? It costs money. My time is my time, but it costs money to run a show, and they're helping me support it and grow it and hopefully hit our goal of making roads safer. And if that means making one person safer, I think we've met it. Answering your traffic and police questions means you know more. And if you know more, you might make better decisions. So if you've got questions, I generally have answers. And at 10:35, I'll be joined by Jerry Agar on NewsTalk 1010. I'll be joining his live stream to the world via radio wave, and he'll be joining our internet broadcast. So that's a thing. If you want to ask questions, there's lots of different ways to do it. You can jump in through the chat on various platforms. And I'm very excited to say that, yes, Instagram is working today. It's not every day that I get to say that because last night it did not work. Why? Oh, I got to zoom in on this. This is an itty bitty. How do I make this bigger? It is an itty bitty. I see some comments. Come on. Can I zoom this way? I can zoom this way. Just did the gesture thing and it worked. Crystal joined, and what do we got here? Ty 13, and we've got lots of different emojis. Well, welcome. It is not every day that I get to say that we are in the world that functions when it comes to Instagram, but it's working today, and for that I'm thankful. So welcome. AJ the Awesome is back. Paul, I talked about Paul last night. This is Paul who is saying hello, Sean, or hello all. How Hi, Sean. Hello, all. Yes, that's the message. I actually got to meet Paul in person last weekend when we got to the track at CTMP. It was finally, Paul's been trying to get me to come out there for a long time, and I finally got there, and it was awesome to meet him in person. And thanks for coming to the show today. AJ the Awesome, who was here last night during the Ask a Traffic Cop After Dark live stream, says, top of the morning to y'all, and to the rest of the day to you, apparently is the appropriate response to that. Which I did not know until a number of years ago. When now I cannot stop saying it. When I hear that, I must respond with the appropriate. Okay, what's going on? I don't want that. I don't want that. Let's shrink this. Shrink. No. Oh yeah, gesture. That's what it is. For some reason, I can't scroll back on the. Click. There we go. Now does it work? Yeah, now it works. Cool. All right. What else is going on? Oh, I need to see the TikTok stream. Stand by as I click another box. There we go. TikTok live monitor needed to be opened. Good morning, Emily. Emily was in the live stream last night too. And Emily is hoping to meet up at Fan Expo. And Emily knows AJ the Awesome, and maybe we'll all get together. I do want to make it out there to Fan Expo. When is Fan Expo? Did we talk about that already? Is that August? Okay. Tyler Billings 779. Are doctors' prescriptions for window tint a thing in Ontario? Doctors can write prescriptions for anything they like. Okay, just jumping into questions now. They can write whatever they want on a piece of paper. Does it make it a legally binding thingamabobber? No, they do not supersede the Highway Traffic Act, which does not have an exemption for tint. So while you can get it, see, there are so many dirty doctors, and I mean this. No, I mean it exactly the way I said. There's a lot of bad actors, whether the doctors, lawyers, people say dirty cops. There are bad people in every industry. Sadly, there's a bunch of them in the medical field who have the authority to write prescriptions, and they write prescriptions for, well, I don't know, letters saying that people can have accessible permits when they don't need them. That's a thing. There've been lots of investigations there, and people have lost their ability to write those. So there's bad actors, and I think that's something that would be absolutely, well, how do I say this? People would abuse it if it was a thing. It's not a thing, but if it was a thing, they'd abuse it. So yeah, they can certainly make suggestions that you need to have something, but a police officer could say, I see you have glaucoma, or I don't know, I'm making stuff up, and need to have tinted windows, but you can wear sunglasses. Like, tinted windows are not a thing other than wanting to pick your nose in public. And well, there's you can get UV protection. There's UV blocking stuff, but not light reducing. You can't black out your windows. The windows left and right of the driver cannot prevent people from seeing it. So aside from the regulations, and Melody, who's a mechanic and may or may not be here right now, but if you have blocked your windows so no one can see in, it's a problem. It's a safety hazard for the public. It's a safety hazard for police. It's kind of sketch, but it does look cool. I'm not taking that away from anybody. So can a doctor's note go in? They can write whatever they want, but it's meaningless. What is this? Oh, it's somebody who thinks it's funny. Oh, it's interesting. Can we, here we go. We'll go. Interesting. Me. I love submitting reports to people who decide to be silly on the web. Oh no, did I break it? I might have broken it. Oh crap. It's not good. I may have screwed up the live stream. Let's see if we broke it. See, I try and report somebody who's being not nice. And oh no, it came back. But I did lose a couple of messages. I don't know what happened to the messages. So if you're on Instagram and you got messages other than the person making well, you know who you are. Well, they've got blocks. They probably don't hear what I'm saying. Anyway, let me try and get back on topic. At 10:35, being joined by Jerry Agar on NewsTalk 1010. If you want to ask questions, if you want to be part of that, then you can jump on here. Come on, there we go. You can phone in at, you can phone or text at 416-872-1010, or toll free dial 1-877-518-5151. And that's to join Jerry. And that's what Jerry looks like. Yeah, except he's not wearing his motorcycle jacket and helmet in that photo. All right. Oh, Melody is here. Oh, okay. Awesome Melody is here. See, I said your name and then boom, you're in the chat. That's awesome. Okay. Let me scroll back. We got so this was a comment from AJ the Awesome. I started talking about him, but I didn't actually get to his comment. Put the garbage bag in the shed last night, forgot to close the door, and an animal tore it open. I'm pressing charges. I've seen some automated water guns, like the kind of protect your property Gatling guns that I'd like to see on my lawn to protect my family, but with squirt gun ammunition for animals. Yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be good. Melody, in continuation of the whole tinted window business, was saying that 30% light blockage on the front side windows. Those are the windows directly left and right of the driver. That's a certification requirement if it's over 30% blockage, meaning less than 70% visible light transmits through the window. Then that is an unsafe motor vehicle, and police can pull your plates and charge you for unsafe motor vehicle. So it's a bad day at the office for you. If you put anything on the windshield, you can be getting the same charge. And what else can I tell you about that? But the mere fact that if you can't be seen, I used to use a driver's license as the example. If I put your driver's license on the inside of your window and I can't read it clearly, it's too dark. Doesn't matter if it's day or night. Now, I will say if it's night, if I can read it at the daylight, but I can't see it at night, it's illegal. And tickets can be issued. Creator Steve, what's going on? Just saw him jump into the Instagram. It's so nice to see my Instagram friends in, because for weeks it's been spotty. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. If you got questions about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff, by all means, drop them in the chat, whichever platform you are on. We are happy to chat with you about stuff and things. If you got friends and family or people you think are terrible drivers or need to know stuff before they do stuff so they don't get charged with stuff, then please share this live stream with them so they can also enjoy the opportunity to chat and get answers to their questions. Akela Draconis jumping in with greetings and salutations. Oh, AJ the Awesome says Emily is my wife. I thought Emily was your girlfriend. I didn't want to make any assumptions, but I knew that you were connected because y'all said you did. And then you sent me photos of you at Comic-Con or Fan Expo. And by the way, I did look at those excellent costumes. I won't share them publicly to embarrass you, but they were very cool. Okay, Carl Freeman says, good morning, Sean. Good morning, good morning. Let's see here. Akela would love to go to Fan Expo, but my flight suit is in storage. Because he just moved. You can see Akela in his flight suit if you go to the YouTube page. I have an archive where Akela's in studio while I'm doing a live stream. So he's in his flight suit. I'm fairly certain, which is awesome. So if you want to see Akela, check out the previous episodes, and please go and subscribe to the YouTube page. We're trying to hit 1,000 followers. We're at like 808 or something. Okay. Epic Life Enthusiast has a question about a breathalyzer. We can talk about that. Regarding the breathalyzer, if an officer orders you to blow into the machine, why is it a criminal offense when under the Canadian Charter you have the right against self-incrimination? I don't have an answer for that, other than the fact that the courts, and I imagine it's the Supreme Courts, have ruled that a breathalyzer test is for the greater good. And the only thing I can fall on is that. In terms of the officer breathalyzer, here's the deal. It is not a scientific instrument to the point where it's relied upon to lay charges in court. So there's something called a roadside screening device, which is what the officer can make a demand that you blow into roadside. That does not lead to, or does not to itself lead to charges. So let's break it down. I pull you over. I say, I'm making a demand because I don't have to have any suspicion of alcohol anymore. Every single police officer can simply make a demand for a roadside screening device, and they can do that for every single person they pull over. They can pull over every person they see and do it. There's no any lawful stop of a driver of a motor vehicle in Canada. They can make the demand, and I think it's great because it just simplifies things. Used to be that they had to have suspicion. You either admit that you had alcohol in your system, or you have odor of an alcoholic beverage, or some reason to establish suspicion, and they can still act on that. But mandatory alcohol screening says in the absence of that, they can make a demand. So let's say they make the demand. They say, okay, we want you to blow into this box. And if you refuse to blow into the box, you are going to be charged for refusal, and the refusal has the same consequences in court as if you failed the test. So it's really in your best interest to A, don't drink and drive, and two, if you're going to drink, make sure you're under the limit and then comply with the demand. I think it's simple. I get what you're saying. You're not supposed to have to. You don't want to incriminate yourself, but you're on the road driving a motor vehicle, so you're not saying yes, I did it. You're not. You're just complying with the analysis, and that so the results of that particular test, the roadside screening test, or the device test, will either say that you passed because you were under 50. If it's 0 to 49, you get a number on the screen. 50 to 79, you are a WARN range suspension, and that's a thing. You get a 3-day suspension or 7-day if it was within the last 10 years, I believe. If you are someone who blows a fail, 0.808 and above, you are getting arrested, and you're being you read a demand for a instrument test, and that is the breathalyzer with a qualified breath technician, and that person, the results of their test, actually 2 tests, do go to court. Evandro Toronto, good day, sir. Constable, good morning. Your Brazilian fan is watching. He is I believe you're still a cadet until we attend your graduation in the not too distant future, but it is exciting to see you, sir. Welcome back to the show. Welcome home from OPC. A little backstory on my friend who I am speaking to or at directly when I'm making these comments. Evandro is a viewer. He watched the show, fell in love with the concept of traffic policing, decided he wanted to become a police officer, applied to become an auxiliary police officer, which he was successful in. I was honored to attend his graduation where he got his badge and whatnot as an auxiliary, and then he continued to work towards his dream of becoming a police officer, and he has just graduated from the Ontario Police College in Elmer, Ontario. Now he's back at his home police college as he finishes the last stretch of training before actually getting his wallet badge and the ceremony and the whole thing being sworn in. It's very exciting. I'm very happy for him. Okay, let me scroll back and see what we've missed. But Evandro, great to see you. Any questions here? Recruit. You're still a recruit in training, so not constable yet. We'll get. You're. I can taste it. You're almost there. All right. Will I be wearing a costume or cosplaying for Fan Expo? That's Emily's question. Maybe. Well, I might have to print a helmet or something. I just got a brand new printer. I'm doing some test prints. It is amazing. I'd love to do some cosplay, not because I need to hide. But I just want to have a reason to justify the printer that I just dropped a ton of cash on. Just an amazing. I should have brought the sample down. I brought it. I printed a full color or an 6 color. It was a lot of colors. I think it was 7 colors. A 7 color print last night. It took 5 hours, and the results are wild. Actually, I have a photo. I can show you a photo of it. The photo of the output, because I took it to, I think I have the output. Yeah, look at this. Mind you, this is the sample photo. It's not the, did I take that? No, this is not this is the sample that it showed before I printed it. That's the advertised, because I didn't design it. I am not an artist. But I printed that, and it looked just like that when I pressed print, and I was thoroughly impressed. Thoroughly. All right. Just a reminder that in the not too distant future, 10:35 exactly, I will be joined by Jerry Agar on NewsTalk 1010. It's about 15 minutes from now, and we will take questions from his audience, and we'll have questions from you, and you'll hear him, and they'll hear you, and it'll be an amazing situation. An amazing situation. Speaking of which, I just want to get confirmation from the very magical, we shouldn't just say magical. Just confirming you got the link. Stand by, you got the link. Cool. We got some cool stuff we're going to talk about. I think it's cool stuff. Mind you, I think all this traffic stuff is awesome. Just a reminder, though, that it is 416-872-1010. You can call or text that number or call toll free 1-877-518-5151 and talk to control, and maybe you'll be invited on the air to talk to me and the Jerry. Okay. Melody is here. Yes, we got that. Okay. Wraith Sun Wings 80. Morning. Morning to you. And okay, we got a follow. Awesome. Thank you for the follow. Ashley says, not traffic related, but how is your summer going? It's hot. It's hot. It has been a hot summer. I have not melted yet, so it is still positive. I recently repaired the air conditioning in my vehicle, and if I had not done that, wow, it would have been not fun because I basically last year I didn't have air conditioning working. I couldn't bring myself to drop 2 grand on an air conditioning repair, which is what it could be. And it worked out to like $1,700 in the end. It was a new compressor. And I was being cheap. I didn't want to spend the money. And I fan windows open. I didn't have anywhere to go, and it was just me in the car most of the time. So I just sucked it up. But now I got to take the kids around and make sure they're comfortable. And yeah, did it for my family. Let's see here. Canada, World War One, World War Two, WW1, WW2 says, weren't you out of Toronto? Oh, he says, I live in Ontario. Weren't you out of Toronto? Yes, I'm based in Toronto. I used to be a police officer with the Toronto Police Service, and it's almost a year now that I've since leaving, which is wild. Life Soloed Studio. No, that's right. I said loud the first time. You corrected me. It's going well. Thanks for asking. Medulla wants to know if my car is modified, and I'm wondering if I can get pulled over for a lowered suspension. Yes, lowered suspension could be the reason that your attention is drawn to your vehicle, and absolutely, you can be pulled over to ensure that your suspension is functional, that it's within tolerances, that there's no contact between the vehicle and the frame. And I just posted a video a little while ago talking about this from last night's live stream. You can be pulled over for anything. You can be pulled over to ensure you have a driver's license, to ensure that you're insured, ensure that you are sober, and to make sure your vehicle is safe. So yeah, if you drop your car and it looks too low and an officer wants to have a look, you are obligated to comply with that. If he says pop the hood, he's entitled, the officer, whomever that officer is entitled to do an inspection. There's a ticket for not complying with it. Bad things happen. Tickets get issued. Oh, Bernhard, you are right. Okay. Has anyone watched that? What is it called? The new Thunderbolts? I think it's called, or the Thunderbolts? I watched the Thunderbolts. Man, did I laugh. And Bernhard says, I should go as the Red Guardian. I love that actor. He played Hellboy, and Hellboy is one of my favorite characters. Am I wrong? Didn't he play Hellboy in a remake? I know he wasn't the original Hellboy, but maybe I'm confusing him with a different actor. Either way, he's great, and I can do a Red Guardian. I think I could do a pretty good Red Guardian. I don't know. Work on my Russian thing. I loved his character. It was hilarious. Okay. We got that. Suggestions to always wear your seatbelt. Yes. But that actually, they said you always have to wear your seatbelt, and that might be responding to some. Oh, hi, sir. Does a rear passenger have to wear a seatbelt only on highway or on city roads also? I've never heard the question asked quite that way. However, yeah, it is all passengers must wear their seatbelt unless they qualify for an exemption. There are exemptions. You can get a medical note saying you don't have to wear a seatbelt, which I think is dumb. However, it's legal. If the doctor has a justified reason, you can get an exemption. If you're reversing as the driver, okay, good, they got it. So there's a couple of times where they need to, where you don't have to wear it, but generally speaking, everybody inside a motor vehicle must occupy a seat position that has a seatbelt that functions, and you must additionally have it on. Yes. Once upon a time, there was a loophole in that, and it used to say that you had to occupy a seat that had a seatbelt unless there were no seatbelts available, and then you could like sit anywhere. That's no longer the case. No longer the case. Oh my goodness. Are we for real? I don't know if that's working, but I want to make sure that works properly. The audio, if it just got better, it's because there was an issue. There was an issue. But now I think we're good. Actually, I think we were good the whole time, but we'll see. Let's double check something. No, I think we were okay the whole time. In any case, we are moving and grooving. What else we got going on here? Rizzy's here. He also played Hopper in Stranger Things. Really? That's okay. I'm scrolling back. I missed a few things. I got a dad joke from Bernhard. We'll save that till the end. If you got dad jokes, share them with me. Love the dad jokes. Okay. Corpse is the username. They're on YouTube and they say, "Hey, Sean, I'm a sports bike rider. Do you have any tips to present myself from being constantly pulled over despite me following the rules of the road?" What are you being pulled over for? Like, what are they saying when they pull you over? Just pulling you over to pull you over? There is a huge number of riders who are unlicensed, uninsured. Maybe you fit the profile, and I say that knowing that no one wants that word being used. But if it's a race bike, and maybe you look like somebody that's been tearing up the streets and causing problems, maybe they want to see if you have a flip up plate. But if you're following the rules, you're not speeding. There's nothing to get charged for. Do it all right and just keep doing it. But hope that, like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why you're being targeted. I'm speculating as possible reasons. What do we got here? What kind of sport bike you got? I'm really curious now. Motorcycle Experience, also on YouTube, said, "I have people who have the same haircut as you. They have a nice tan line going on." They have a tan line on their haircut. I've been getting a lot of sun lately, and I was up in Barrie last weekend. Quick warning: if you're a big dude, and I mean tall, and you are planning to go on the floating bouncy castle on, what is it, Centennial Lake Centennial? I don't know what the hell I was, but it was a lot of fun. But I lost my balance and I twisted my knee and it hurts still. Okay. We got here. Sam Taylor joined. Welcome. Oh, Evandro wants to know where the driver of a parent, I suppose, can go to confirm that their child car seat is properly installed in the car. Well, I know Toronto Police and the OPP have banded together to work in conjunction to do some car seat clinics to both check the installation if you've already got one in, or teach you how to properly install it. There are fire stations that will also do this if they've been certified to do it. So make calls to your local police and fire and see if they've got a clinic. You can also go to, I don't know if they do clinics, but they do online education and stuff and things. And that is, I'm putting it on the screen, CPSAC, the Child Passenger Safety Association of Canada, cpsac.org. They're the people who actually do the training. I was certified not by them, but by St. John's Ambulance a couple of times. One as a master instructor and one's as an installer. And they've changed things around, and now it seems that everyone is going to CPSAC instead of St. John's. So check it out. That's the place to go. By the way, a reminder that if you are interested in watching old episodes, these episodes, if you want to subscribe, I download these and put them up on your favorite podcast app that goes out through Spotify. That means it's then later found on Apple Podcasts and all the big ones, even iHeart podcast platform, or iHeartRadio's podcast platform. So you can get everything there. Just checking the time. Where's my clock? There we go. 10 minutes until we're joined by the radio. So you can listen there, but you can also go to the YouTube channel, VoiceOver Cop, and you can get archives that are years in the making, hundreds and hundreds of hours of me yapping at you about stuff and things. If you got traffic and police questions, I'm your guy. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer who talks about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff. So if you got questions, I got answers. And my goal is to help you wherever possible. So if you can join me live, great. During the summer months, I'm only going live 2 days a week. That's Tuesday nights, 9 p.m., and Wednesdays at 10 a.m. And sometimes, like today, we're joined by Jerry Agar on NewsTalk 1010. Jerry brings his audience and their questions forward so we can talk about them. And then, of course, he usually has a couple of questions up his sleeve. You can dial control in 10 minutes to try and get on the air, 416-872-1010. As phone and text, or dial toll free 1-877-518-5151. And we'll put that up again and leave it on during the whole segment while we're on the air with Jerry. What else can I tell you? I can tell you that stuff and things. Hang on a second. We got Sam Taylor wants to know, if a motor vehicle collision report is completed by an officer, must a charge be laid? I think an officer should lay the charge, but it's not mandatory. Police officers don't have. Let me rephrase. There are very few times where charges are required or an arrest is required. Very often, they can look at the situation and say, "Yeah, there's not sufficient information or evidence to lay a charge." In their opinion, they don't have to lay a charge. However, I think that's inappropriate. I think that does a disservice to the victim in the situation. And the victim is not the person who's most injured. It's not the person who has the most damage. The victim is the person who, through no fault of their own, was thrust into a collision situation because of the actions of another. So if you caused a collision, you should be charged. If you didn't, they should, because there's no such thing as an accident. There's a collision or a crash, and it's because someone screwed up. It's because someone made a boo-boo, and they should be held accountable for that. Okay. Well, what we got now? Wendy. Wendy says, "What are the rules when driving an emergency vehicle? Sorry. What are the rules when driving and an emergency vehicle is coming in the opposite direction? Are they in the same lane as you, like the same side of the road?" Here's the deal. If it's a divided road, meaning like the 401 is the best example for me to give you for divided road, divided highway. Divided road and highway, same thing, because a highway is any road, including expressways in Canada or in Ontario for the HDA. And a divided one is when there is a barrier where it's basically a one-way street in one direction and a one-way street in the other direction. In that situation, if they're coming towards you, but they're on the other side of the barrier, you're not obligated to pull over. It would be crazy if eastbound 401 drivers had to pull over when a westbound emergency vehicle was going. So that scenario is the only scenario where you don't have to do anything. If you are on an undivided highway, Young Street, for instance, where it is a painted line down the center, occasionally there may be dividers, but it's an undivided highway for the vast majority of it. And in that particular situation, vehicles on both sides of the road have to pull over because that emergency vehicle may have to go into oncoming traffic to get through to wherever they have to go in a hurry because they're on the way to save the day. Now, if you look at the areas of Young Street in North York between Shepherd and I don't know Finch, there are areas where there are built up pottery or planters and statues, and like in front of Mel Asman Square, there's this art installation that's divided in that area. There's no way for that emergency vehicle to cross over, and in that situation, I wouldn't expect you to pull over. Some people say you can drive up to 120 on the 401. Is that true? Not legally. There is a section, or there are sections of highways in Ontario that allow speeds up to 110 kilometers an hour, but that is the highest posted speed limit in the province of Ontario that I'm aware of. And that would be in those areas, the fastest you can legally go, 110. For the vast majority, and I've said vast majority a number of times today, vast majority of roads in Ontario, highways anyway, expressways, the maximum speed is 100, but you go with the posted speed limit. And people who say you can go 10 or 20 over are telling you that the likelihood of getting caught may be low, but that doesn't make it legal. So if you break the law, expect to get a ticket, and then don't complain when you get one because you've chosen the driving that earned you the ticket. If you do 120 and you get a ticket for 120, you did it. Yeah, simple as that. 1 kilometer over, 101 in a 100 zone is technically illegal, although you are unlikely to get a ticket for 1 kilometer over. Still illegal, still a ticket. And if you were convicted for 1 over, would still impact your license the same way as a 15 or 20 over, because it's the same thing. Speeding is the charge. It's the same section under the Highway Traffic Act. The difference of speed is to determine the amount of the fine, the financial impact, not the severity of the charge. And points don't care, or the points don't matter to insurance companies. Convictions matter. It's dry today. Drinking more water than normal. Oh, a comment from Melody about my air conditioning repair. I said it was 1,700, and she alluded to the fact that it could have been a lot more than that, and I got off easy. She didn't say I got off easy, but when she said it could have been a lot more than that, I'm going to say that was her making fun of me. Or just suggesting that it was no biggie, and it was no, I'm kidding. I'm just adding as stupidity to my conversation. She was in no way making fun of me unless she was. Okay. AJ the Awesome has a thought question. Oh. He says, here's a thought question. Knowing how it ended, if given a chance to redo your life, would you still become a bike unit officer? Um, yes. Yes. I, I I don't think I would have done anything different. I had the best experience. I love my my motor squad time and the family that I because motor officers are a whole different level. Motor cops are a family within the family. It's very specialized work. It was very rewarding and it was a life fulfilling dream. And yeah, I got hurt and it could have gone worse and it could have been, different. And I'm gonna say hello to News Talk 1010 now. How are you doing? Why am I
Oh,
not hearing
hello.
you? Oh, there we go. We hear you now.
How are you?
Doing well. How you doing?
Doing well, thank you. We have some people that have some questions for you, so I'm
Yay.
excited.
I am too. I'm always excited. If you can make sure that we don't have any audio before Jerry comes in, so the music doesn't play, that would be awesome because YouTube
Sure,
doesn't like those things.
sure.
For some reason, you can't watch us in Russia after the intro plays.
Oh no.
I'm not even kidding. It's the only place it gets restricted.
Oh no. Are you able to hear the audio now or
I hear you and back and talk in the room that you're in, but I don't hear the stream from the
oh,
audio of the
you know
radio.
what? That's probably the speaker I'm right next to, so
Cool. It's cool. There's no issue there.
I'll lower
Just
that. Yeah.
sometimes it plays in, and it's better if it does not.
Ah, okay. No worries. We'll make sure. We are
Thank you.
coming up
Thank you.
very, very soon.
Can't wait. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Okay, that was the producer. And if you call in to 416-872-1010 or text, that's likely who's going to be on the other end to qualify you before putting you on the air. And I guess they're getting calls in advance because they've been talking about the fact that we're going to connect. Is a nice. Is very nice. Okay. Let me just pull something up as we get ready for the segment. There we go. Oh, I see some questions. I see some questions. The questions that were emailed to me, some things that they wanted to talk about. I think you'll find this interesting. Yes, I do. My email is going crazy. Okay, let's close this and close that and close this. I have so many too many windows. All right. What
This
do we
is
got?
Jerry Agar.
The TikTok former traffic cop is Sean Shapiro, still answering people's questions regularly on TikTok and his mobile presence and or his social media presence, I should have said, and here on the show every couple of weeks. Sean, good morning.
Good morning to you. Glad to have you back in town.
A couple of quick questions here. Can I legally drive with just a photo of my license?
Legally, no. Might you
Okay.
get through, the question period with the officer? Possibly. It's up to them's discretion. But technically, you need to have your actual plastic issued license, unless you come from a state that allows an electronic version through a special app.
Okay. Well, I'd rather have a photo of it to show a cop than to say I just don't have it.
That is better.
Yeah. Is it legal and safe to drive barefoot?
So I grew up thinking it wasn't, and I, like many people, were wrong. It is legal. There's no charge for driving barefoot, although some people have said that you might be looking at a charge for careless. I don't agree with that. The deal, though, is if you go to smash down on that, brake pedal in an emergency, it feels different, and you could hurt your toes, which could cause you to, not push as hard and then not stop as quickly. So while it isn't illegal, it's not a good idea. Also, in the event of a collision, where you get out and there's broken glass and chemicals, you kind of want to have the foot protection.
Yeah, we wear shoes for a reason.
Yes, our
Yeah.
feet are softer than we think.
Yeah, they're not just a fashion statement. Before I go to some calls here, I love this text because it's a question I've had in my mind many mornings when I come down off the Gardner to turn left onto Spadina. When you're in a mandatory left turn lane at an intersection, do you still need to signal?
It's funny. So many people have been asking me that recently. Yes, you're always required to signal the intention to change lanes, to turn. That movement of your vehicle has to be announced. And even if you're in a lane that makes it obvious, it may not be obvious to everybody.
All right, here's Tony. What's your question, Tony?
Hi, good morning. So I've been noticing quite often that there are people with newer cars, expensive cars, that they'll rev their engines really, really high. And I don't know how they do it, but you hear these explosions like purposeful backfire come out of their exhaust. louder than a shotgun, and I don't know if these are modified or if they're original, but they tend to be very expensive, high performance cars like BMW or Mercedes.
Okay, what's your question?
And my question is, how come they're not getting charged? Like, I see them doing it literally on the street in front of police officers. And, is there a law about this?
There's a bunch of laws, and there's what you're referring to is generally referred to as the burble tune. They tune them. They actually make it do that, even in a car that doesn't require it. I don't think there's any benefit. It's unspent fuel in the exhaust system that's exploding, and it is loud and it's annoying. And you can be charged for unnecessary noise, even if your vehicle is stock and it creates that loud popping. You can get charges for it. If you modify the vehicle and make it do it even more, then you could be having an improper exhaust system. There's a ton of charges. And in the city of Toronto specifically, if your vehicle exceeds 92 decibels at idle or anything, it's 96 decibels at anything above idle, it's a $500 charge. And those vehicles are absolutely in the area where those should be laid.
Do those tickets get written in the city?
They do. The ones that are bylaw require City of Toronto bylaw officers to lay them, which is complicated because they're the ones with the equipment to get the decibel readings. If it's just unnecessary noise, well, burble tunes aside, if you're just revving your engine like an idiot, then police officers, just based on hearing it without any kind of measurement tool, can lay the charge for unnecessary noise.
Yeah.
How many times they issue them, I don't know.
Yeah, the frequent thing we get is, how come they never charge anybody? Well, and this is said by people who, if they don't see massive numbers of tickets being written right in front of their eyes, believe the police are never doing anything at all about it. But that's
just because you don't witness it doesn't mean it isn't happening. And I can tell you that there are tons, especially in the summer, blitzes that go on looking for modified vehicles and unnecessary noise and no exhaust system or improper exhaust. Those charges are laid on a regular basis.
Here is John. What's your question, John?
Quickly, people, just don't speed. It's better that way. I've been come to believe that over the years that Ontario is the only province in the country where police cannot issue tickets for running stop signs on private property, let's say malls. Is that true?
Yes, the particular charge for stop signs is applicable on the highway only. I couldn't speak to other provinces whether or not they can lay them, but we can lay now, as of recent changes to the Highway Traffic Act, charges for careless driving on private property. Stunt driving is absolutely now applicable. Sorry, I got a text message and I looked over. I got distracted. But yeah, so you can lay charges for stunt driving, careless driving. Those now apply, and you could argue that running a stop sign is careless, and that charge could be laid.
All right, John, thanks for the question. Here's a text. You can text us or call us at 416-872-1010 or toll free 877-518-5151. Can you drive an e-bike after being convicted of a DUI?
So it's funny. A DUI generally comes with a what's called disqualification under the criminal code, which would mean you can't drive a motor vehicle. And a motor vehicle, or at least an e-bike, qualifies as a motor vehicle under the criminal code. So the answer is no, you cannot legally ride an e-bike if you are disqualified from driving motor vehicles.
I had to get a tow truck on my vacation, Sean. And when the car was all hooked up and everything, it was my son's car. I was driving it myself and we blew a tire. And I got into the truck with the driver. He was a great guy. And somehow through the conversation, I ended up saying to him, what happens if you get a DUI? And he looked at me and goes, I'm still driving.
Really? I don't know where that is, but that does not sound good. There's a lot of people who make a lot of poor choices, and it's shocking how many people who are convicted or suspended, for that matter, regardless of for what reason. They just keep doing what they're doing, and I've pulled people over who have no license. They're suspended just because that they were told not to drive doesn't actually stop them from that bad behavior.
Yeah, there's a photo. CP24 carried this photo along with the story. Somebody is moving or whatever, and they got 3 mattresses on the roof of the car. 3 mattresses, and they've got a couple of people in the back seat reaching out through the window and holding on to the bottom one, and they, I guess, are hoping that the top 2 just stay there. They're not tied down. Or are there regulations regarding that sort of thing?
So not specifically for mattresses, but for any load. If you are transporting anything, hands out the window doesn't cover it. It has to be secured by rated straps. It cannot go anywhere. And I've put up videos in the past of television boxes floating mysteriously above cars being held on by twine. The twine that is given to you by IKEA, for instance, not a regulated strap. That could still be a ticket. It has to be secure. No chance of it falling off or becoming separated from the vehicle. And I believe it's a $170 ticket. And the fact that you're not going any further once you're pulled over. But the hands out the window is absolutely ridiculous. Those people should have their heads examined.
Okay, here is Peter. What's your question, Peter?
Just wondering if there's a charge for driving with your dog on your lap. I see it all the time. People driving around with their little dogs running around in the cars. That to me would be an impairment charge.
Not impairment, not distracted, although I see the reason why people often go there. Careless driving for sure. The other option would be drive while crowded, another charge under the HTA. Your dog, cat, chihuahua, bird, whatever you got, backseat, either with a tether or a crate. Those are the two safest places for the animal, and it's the two safest places for you for various reasons. One, it's a distraction. You're not focused on driving. You're playing with Fluffy. The other thing is, in the event of a collision, that airbag deploys super fast and with a lot of force, and you're probably going to crush or fatally injure your animal.
Thanks, Peter. I appreciate it. So you called it driving while crowded.
Yes, it's essentially whether it's a person, a box on your lap, if you are interfered with because you've got stuff in your vicinity, whether it breathes or not, you're driving while crowded.
Sean Shapiro, where does everybody find you?
Best place to go is askatrafficcop.ca. You can leave me voicemail there. You can get links to all sorts of stuff, but we'd love to have you as someone who asks questions.
All right, askatrafficcop.ca. Thanks, Sean. We'll talk soon.
All the best. Take care.
Yeah. Hey, Bluetooth security flaw in cars could lead to eavesdropping and hacking.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
Have a great day.
Headline.
You too. I was waiting for your question. I thought you were coming in. That's why when I saw the text pop up.
Oh no, not from me.
Well, this one is.
You have a great day.
All the best. Take care.
Take care.
All right. I got a question that popped up, or a state. What did it say? It said, I'm standing by, going to join you in a couple minutes. Oh, you know what? I bet you it was just a delayed message. That's what I'm texting back. It was delayed. That's funny. So I'm reading, I saw it pop up from the producer, and then I'm like, oh, okay, they're joining us. I'm like, what? I was confused. What? Okay, let's get back to your stuff and things. Mercedes. Oh, wait. I'm going to come back. Mercedes. Okay, we'll start with Mercedes. I said Mercedes. Now I've said Mercedes like 3 times. So why can't, was it Google says lane splitting Google says lane splitting is legal in Ontario. Is it true when distracted driving? Back it up. Google says lane splitting in legal Ontario is true. Is legal. No, it's not true. It's inaccurate. Lane splitting is not legal anywhere in Canada, and it's only legal in 5 states in the USA. Then the second half says, when is distracted driving implemented? You mean, what year did the law come into play? I don't remember what year it actually started. It did start. Distracted driving is specifically the use of a handheld communication device, the use of a handheld entertainment device, or having a screen visible to a driver. So I need to ask what your actual question is in relation to that. And while we think about that, let's go back to, here's Pitts, who says, are motorcycles allowed on all HOV lanes in the highway? Motorcycles are allowed on all roads. There's no anti-motorcycle roads. In terms of motorcycles with a solo rider, they're allowed on all 400 series HOV lanes, any Ontario provincial road or highway, I should say. Those allow single occupant motorcycles or single rider motorcycles to use the HOV lanes. However, in the city of Toronto, we have diamond lanes. Some of them have pictures of motorcycles and the signs hanging above them. Some of them don't. They're allowed in the ones with motorcycle photos because those aren't really HOV lanes, although they're commonly referred to that. They're commonly referred to as HOV lanes, but they're not. It's a lie. In fact, what they are multi-use lanes that are restricted, and their use is designated by the sign hanging above. Scrolling down because now I think we're up to up to date there. Is wearing a ski mask illegal while driving? I don't think there's a law for ski mask, and I think that's going to be, well, is wearing a surgical mask illegal while driving? What if your face is cold and your heating doesn't work? I don't think there's a law about you can wear a motorcycle helmet or a car racing helmet while driving. So no, I'm gonna go with there's no ski mask legality. But then the question is likely going to follow up with something related to tinted windows. I'm just waiting. Nearmoo says, just wondering if 7 years can use car booster instead of actual car seat. It's all based on height and weight. And yes, 7 years old should be able to use a booster instead of a car seat, because at 8 years old, they no longer require legally a booster at all. At 8 years old, you can sit in a car without a booster seat. If you go to trafficcop.ca, Ask a Traffic Cop goes to a different website, but trafficcop.ca goes to my link tree, and on my link tree, I have a bunch of links that go specifically to a page from the Ontario provincial government that specifies when you can move people between seats, children, out of have them graduate from one to the other. I'm just categorizing some dad jokes for later. AJ likes my stuff and things. There you go. Okay. We got a question about impaired sleeping. Okay, I got some stuff from the Rizzy. Got a dad joke from Rizzy. We'll be back to questions in just 1 second. Is Axro is that one of the same? Okay, so that was the same question on a different platform. Ski mask while driving. Okay, I think we're up to date there. We'll go to dad jokes in a moment. We've got about 9 minutes before I got us to go. Okay, why can a cyclist have a tinted helmet shield when tint on the windshield of a car is illegal? That's a good question from Tracy. The car is regulated. The windshield of the helmet, I don't believe, is. Now, I used to think when I was a kid that I couldn't. I had to change my windshield. I had different visors. And it makes sense that if you have a vehicle that you have to cover your eyes for safety, then you don't have to have a visor at all. But if you choose to use it, it makes it impossible to see. I would say that's careless in that situation. But it's not regulated like the windshield of a motor vehicle. It's no safety inspection for your windshield on your helmet that I'm aware of. Do I think it's a good idea? No. That's just like wearing your sunglasses at night. There's no law that says you can't wear dark sunglasses while you drive a car. When you hit a pole, it might be used against you in evidence, but if the glasses are still attached to your head, if your head is still attached to your shoulders, just saying. Madula says, I got pulled over by a cop and he gave me 3 tickets, and one of them was for plate obstruct. Okay. Did you have your plate obstructed? Was there a license plate frame or cover? Because if you had something on your plate, then it was obstructed. What would you like to know? Because he couldn't read the province. You had a plate cover that covered the province. Yes, that's against the law. You can't have anything on your license plate. Even a plate frame from your favorite Ford dealer is illegal, technically. And especially if you couldn't read Ontario, because guess what? There's different jurisdictions, different license plates from different countries and provinces that look exactly the same. And the only difference is the name on top. It tells you what province it's from. That is absolutely a justified and legitimate ticket. We got here more dad jokes coming down the pipe. Okay. What do we got here? Can I play music in the car? You can play music in the car. That is not illegal. Loud music, if it's too loud, is unnecessary noise, and that would be illegal. Can you drive for 2 years in Ontario with an international license from Mexico? That's from Bonnie. No, you cannot. So if you are a visitor to Ontario from Mexico, you can drive generally for 6 months without requiring anything. If it's over 6 months, you require an international permit, which is a translation card that's issued by your home country. For Canadians traveling abroad, CAA issues that on behalf of the government. They charge you for it, but they issue it. And it's a translation card. So the first, generally 6 months as a visitor, you're okay. International permit in addition to the license for up to a year. But beyond that, you're not permitted. Now, if you're a student in Ontario, and you move here because you're a student, even if you're temporary for 6 months, whatever, you can drive. you require an Ontario driver's license. You cannot continue to drive for more than 60 days with a foreign license. It's not an international license, it's a foreign license. The international permit is a translation card, just making sure we're all on the same page. So yeah, if you move here to go to school, you're required within 30 days to transfer a vehicle from another province or country to Ontario, and within 60 days to transfer your license to an Ontario license. And if you don't qualify for a straight trade, you might be on a learner's permit. Okay, John Curran says, Joan, my apologies, Joan. I live in Ontario. There are so many trucks on the 401 now. What lanes are they supposed to stay in? So I always was under the impression that the left lane they're not allowed to be in at all. But according to some reading and discussion with colleagues, it looks like the first 2 lanes are prohibited from use by commercial vehicles. Although I've never seen it enforced for both of the 2 left lanes, not permitting commercial trucks. And maybe someone who's a commercial trucker can confirm, because we were on the fence on it based on our reading. But definitely they cannot be in the left lane. And they possibly could be to specifically overtake, but there is a restriction dealing with them. I've never enforced that. I've never been involved with that. I never policed the 401. That's I have issued tickets to people on the 401 for dumb stuff I came across by accident. But going somewhere using the 401 myself, but not actually. I was a Toronto cop, not a OPP. Okay. Right in middle lane only. That is one member of the audience responded for where they're supposed to be. But not right in middle, it's left in middle. And then, yeah, not in the right lane. Important influencer says, I have a question, and then says, how dare you? And I don't know what the question is, and I don't know what they think I should not dare. Motorcycle Experience says, hey, Sean, you missed my earlier questions from the beginning. Are you sure I did? Because I did respond to your questions. Maybe, yes. No, I talked about okay, wait. I did miss them. So question, if M license alcohol percentage is 0, why can't G other licenses be the same? M license is not 0. M1, M2 is 0, but G1, G2 is 0 as well. And the 0 stays even when you get your G, and I assume M until you're 22 years old. But an M license is not a restricted, there's no condition for alcohol on an M other than the legal limits. So there's that. What is this? He says, hello, Sean Shapiro. I have a long question to ask, and only YouTube allows a certain amount of words. Here's my question. I do pool and hot tub service, maintenance, and occasional construction and delivering of hazardous materials and chemicals to construction sites and clients in downtown Toronto. Instead of speed cameras in residential, did we miss something? I was expecting a question in relation to chemicals. Okay. Instead of speed cameras in residential areas and school zones where the speed limit is 30 or 40, why don't the city just install speed bumps? And then you probably remember when you were young, they were everywhere. They were very effective. If you sped too fast, you will damage your car and it would cost you big bucks. That was a more effective safety. I imagine, and then he continues to say, I find that speed cameras are a cash grab by the city. They are broke and need money. And then continues to say, you really did have a lot of stuff here. Since driving is a privilege, Ontario needs to make the test in driving school harder. A mandatory driving school test every 5 years when renewing your license. There should be a program offered by all police agencies in Canada to drivers, allowing police to install front and rear dash cameras with LT plans to the camera to the vehicle to send the videos automatically updating to the police. That way drivers are helping the community and police catch drivers who don't follow the law. That's a lot to unpack there. And I don't disagree with a lot of what you said. The biggest problem with the speed bumps is they interfere with snow removal and damage the plows. And I believe that they took it out for that reason, but I'm speculating. I don't disagree. I disagree that it's a cash grab. I think that it's the way of policing without damaging the roads, putting in speed bumps. But speed bumps are absolutely the best at slowing people down because nobody wants to hurt their ride and they want to avoid the roads altogether. I think they're very effective, and that's one thing that you should bring up to You're a local representative. However, yeah, I don't think it's a cash grab, because I think when people break the law, they don't deserve the cash. It's a donation for being a bad driver, kind of, sort of. Gwen says, greetings, ex-traffic copper dude. Watching you from Brock, Vegas. What's going on, Gwen? Good to see you back. It's nice to be on Instagram today. It's there's always an interesting flow. A number of people who are only on that platform. I don't know why, but it's still good. It's still good. Good to see you. Talked about that. Is underglow for cars illegal? I thought I wouldn't. I thought I'd never hear that question again, because it's been so long. It's not specifically illegal. However, if the bulbs project forward, to the sides, or to the back, it might violate other laws. It might violate headlight, taillight, or other lighting laws. If it's simply projecting directly down, the bulbs aren't visible, and all that is seen from outside of the vehicle is the glow on the ground, then I would argue that it's legal. That's it. If you are projecting forward, back, or to the sides, and it's red, blue, violating the color restrictions for the direction, then you could get a ticket. And if you talk to Sergeant Campbell at Traffic Services, he would, if he sees the light, he would give you a ticket if it's the wrong color to the wrong direction. I think it's only if you see the bulbs and you're actually projecting, because projecting versus reflecting, I see the difference, and not everybody does. Anyway, I see a lot of stuff that's still coming in terms of questions. I won't be able to get to everybody. I do want to read dad jokes, and yeah, let's quickly. Oh, Knight Rider. I have to read yours because Knight Rider was a great show. What about having your phone on a phone holder with GPS on? There's some discussion about that, but generally accepted is that, and the way I read the HTA is that as long as it's mounted and you've put it in GPS mode prior to getting on the highway being any road, the public roads. So if you're on private property or in park at the side of the road, a legal spot, you set it and forget it, then it wouldn't be illegal. But if you're touching it in any way, you cannot set destinations or interact with it. But it has to be mounted and in GPS mode in order for it to be exempt for the purposes of viewing that screen, not interacting with it. Use CarPlay if you got it. Use Android Auto if you got it. Let's see here. Is riding a bike on the sidewalk illegal? In most jurisdictions, yes, it is illegal. For both York Region and Toronto, it's illegal. I was corrected by Bernhard earlier, a couple of shows ago, because I thought, based on what I was seeing, that it was legal in York Region, because I see it everywhere, and I don't see people on the sidewalk, only bikes, because it's a more rural community, if you want to call York Region rural, which I just did. So most people drive in York Region. You cross Steeles north of the Toronto, it seems like everybody's in a car. Very few people walking. Yeah. Troy says, I've been fined 20 years for U-turn, but there was no signs then. What are we talking about here? Are police required to give the reason for a stop? We generally do, but there's no real, I have to tell you, I mean, you do. It's just part of the thing. Why wouldn't you tell someone, I pulled you over because you're speeding? I pulled you over to make sure you have a license. I'm trying to scroll back to see if I got anything really juicy to talk about. Still don't know why important influencer says what they says. Says what they said what they said. Talked about that. Can I get charged for plate obstruct if the province the plate is halfway covered by a plate form? Yes. Name is incorrect on a ticket. Is that admissible in traffic court? If all of your other information is correct and they just type out your name, well, first of all, it's unlikely that it happened. But if it's completely incorrect, that's one of the things that generally is required. If they got, like, is it a handwritten ticket? Because it's hard to screw up a printed ticket because they verify your information. So if the driver's license is wrong and the name is wrong and the date of birth is wrong and their notes don't have it correct, then you might be able to make that argument in court. But if everything is correct and there's just a spelling, it could be a clerical issue in the system. If it's a computer generated court document, then there's something going on. So, I mean, bring it up. You can't hurt by bringing it up. How do you feel about people buying laser jammers and they are publicly available to buy? They're illegal. They're illegal. $170 ticket. They can seize the equipment. They can search your vehicle for it. It's pretty clear. Police can determine whether or not you have one. They can dismantle your car to get to it. They have search and seizure authority under the Highway Traffic Act. I feel like people who get that stuff should feel the full impact of the law. it's illegal to buy, sell their prohibited device. Well, they're not prohibited devices under the criminal code, but they're prohibited from purchase, sale, or transport. Same as a radar detector. Bernhard says, everything I believe can be corrected in court. Not 100% sure you can take a chance and try. That's in relation to the whole error on the name. Yeah, generally speaking, if there's a minor issue, and the way I answered earlier is the same. If everything else in the document is correct and the name is incorrect, you would bring a motion for the police officer, or the prosecution would bring a motion asking to adjust it, to amend it in court, because there was a clerical error. But everything else is correct, just the name. They have to find out why. But if everything's wrong, then it's unlikely that they would be able to amend that. I'm seeing a lot of drivers do U-turns. Always thought they were illegal, and now I understand what was being said later. If there's no sign and it's not in one of the prohibited areas, like in front of a hill with no visibility, a curve with no visibility, a bridge, viaduct, a railway crossing, then generally it is, as long as it's safe. But if you cause a collision, it's not safe, and then you're going to get charged because you were the one doing the U-turn. JK wants to know why. What are the reasons a speeding ticket is not valid? I don't do traffic defense. I do traffic prosecution. At least I used to. Well, actually, not prosecution. I used to write the tickets, so I couldn't tell you all the reasons, nor do we have time to deal with all the arguments for getting out of a speeding ticket. If you sped, you're probably guilty. Toronto Road Cams wants to know if I've heard of Cruzy and why are they allowed to operate in Toronto. I'm not familiar with Cruzy. What are they? Cruzy seems to be a gig-based driving school. That I want to investigate. That sounds truly sketchy. Thanks for bringing it up, Toronto Road Cams. I hope you're doing well. Okay. Troy Curry, hey, why are you allowed to do U-turn at traffic light everywhere in Toronto? They're doing it. Troy, you're not allowed to do it everywhere. There are areas where you would be interfering with traffic and causing a problem, and totally responsible. But unless it's prohibited by sign or part of the areas outlined earlier, or it's dangerous, then you can't. Now, you can't do it on a red light. I don't know why people think they can do it on a red light. They cannot. That would be illegal, and clearly illegal. Boom, boom, boom. Who do I report a supervisor cop who hides on his phone instead of working? Well, how do you know, Mark, that they're not working when they're on their phone? They're a supervisor. What do you think supervisors do? They're on the road to be able to respond to events that they're subordinates, that they're police constables. If they're a sergeant and they're supervising a group of sergeants, they're on the phone giving advice, doing email, doing stuff on a road that they would normally be doing in an office, so that they can respond more efficiently when they're needed on the road. That's not working. But you can certainly make a complaint by going to a police station or call LECA or file a complaint with LECA, the Law Enforcement Complaints Agency. They'll investigate and then they'll clear them, because I nearly guarantee you they're not pretending to work. They're actually working. They have computers. They're mobile offices. Okay. If sign says they're allowed, why is it allowed to make a U-turn if there's a sign that says they're allowed? Then they're allowed. Emily says, if you get even one DUI, I think you should have the breathalyzer installed in your car no matter what. If you get a DUI, that interlock system, what you're talking about, the breathalyzer in the car, that is the only way to get your license back faster. So you get a court, you get a disqualification, and after that you get another extended period of time that's under the ministry. The ministry one can be accelerated or dealt with by way of the interlock. So yeah, if you get a DUI, you get that. I think it should be forever, but because y'all have a problem if you drink and drive. Okay. What happens if you drive for Uber Eats? You probably get paid for Uber Eats. I don't know what you mean, Michelle. Mercedes, is a follow-up to the question about lane splitting, says, for example, I was almost sideswiped. Is something that I was almost sideswiped, and that's something I should report. This is so for yeah. They followed up and said, so it would be considered careless driving then, This is lane splitting. Could be careless driving, stunt driving, or criminal dangerous driving, depending on what we see as an officer investigating. Night Rider says, what about having your phone on? We talked about that. Mystic Live Creator says, Sean, we missed you. Mystic Live Creator follows on to say, was there a new law in Ontario recently passed regarding entertainment system use as a cell phone? No, entertainment system use. What do you mean? Because there's already a distracted driving law which includes entertainment device. So a cellular phone is a handheld communication device that's prohibited under distracted driving laws. The entertainment device, using it for watching movies or having a dedicated system for watching movies, like dare I say, a portable DVD player, or an iPod, or just having somebody's screen invisible to you, all fall under the same distracted driving laws. Right in middle. Was I getting my left and rights mixed up? We were talking about trucks. Oh, yes. Maybe they corrected the left and middle. I don't know. I can't remember the comment we read. It all made sense when I read it. Does anyone notice how much motorcycle drivers are going up in between vehicles? Yeah, it's terrible. Sue, it's terrible. The lane splitting, totally illegal, but they tend not to give a crap about the law. Is riding a bicycle on the sidewalk illegal? We talked about that. If you're 14 or older, it's illegal in Toronto. If you're under 14, meaning you're 13 or younger, it is legal. A school bus is stopped at a T intersection. Do vehicles in all directions have to stop? No. You cannot pass the school bus from either behind or in front. That doesn't affect cross traffic. Be cautious though, because kids do the darndest things. None of okay. Chris Tilley says or wants to know if being pulled over on the 401, you should always get to the right shoulder or pull over in the fast lane. It depends. If it's clear traffic, if you can safely make it to the right, go to the right. That's the safest and best place. If it was bumper to bumper traffic and emergency vehicles trying to get through, the closest curb or edge of roadway is sufficient. You don't just not go anywhere because you want to go to the other side. Toronto road cams following up on the sus driving school thing. I just saw one on a lesson driving school sign on the roof, but car had no instructor license plate. I definitely want to look into this. Okay, we got a dad joke, and we're definitely transitioning to dad jokes in just a second. I got to go. That's why. How old do you have to be to ride an e-scooter or bike? You have to be 16. And Apple user is the question asker, and they said, "Thanks, Sean. You rock." You're very welcome, and thank you. That was a very garbled way of me reading and answering questions and acknowledging the thanks. But thank you. What's the craziest traffic stop you've done? I don't have time to answer this question, honestly, because we're wrapping up. But come back in another day next week, Tuesday night, or actually it's probably a really good Tuesday night topic. We talked about that. Is it okay to get mad at a school bus driver for stopping traffic? No. I mean, you can be mad. They're doing their job. They're protecting the children. They're required to by law to do what they're doing. So don't hate the player, hate the game. Okay, dad jokes. I think we're dad jokes now. Oh, wait. We covered that. I like the take. Rizzy wants to know if you're blasting music, but it's a song the cops really like. Do they ignore the ticket, I guess? AJ says goodbye. Kayla's getting ready to say goodbye. What is this? Oh, boom, boom, boom. I hear what you're saying. Rizzy's asking about interlock devices. What if you get your friend to do it? I don't know if there's a charge for the friend. Definitely a charge for the driver. Oh, okay. Big Red. Okay, we'll talk about this very briefly. Mary Lynn, thank you so much. Okay, now we're dad jokes. After I answer this one question from Big Red. I didn't see the question on TikTok, though. Here's the question. Asked on TikTok, but are enclosed mobility scooters legal and or safe for disabled persons? And the answer is it depends. There's a lot of vehicles that are being claimed or sold as mobility scooters, and they're not. When you have something that's nearly the size of a Fiat four-door vehicle and they're claiming it's a mobility scooter, that's a bold-faced lie. They're motor vehicles. A motorized scooter, one that is meant for you to go shopping in the lanes of Walmart, is a mobility scooter. And if it's anything beyond that, it's not. Simple. And I'm like, there are people selling small cars and claiming they're mobility scooters, and they shouldn't be on the sidewalk. And you certainly can't take them into Walmart. And I think that's sort of the bar of reasonable that we have to employ here. I saw a great video. I downloaded it. I'll have to put it up again. Do I have it accessible here? Hang on a second. Let me see if I can put it on here. I might be able to share it with you. No, I don't have it. I only have a certain number of videos I can keep in queue. It's not there anymore. But basically, it was someone driving across the crosswalk, across the sidewalk, and a guy pulls over and says, "Hey, are these legal?" And they said, "Yeah, it's legal." They said, "Are you supposed to be on the road?" And they're like, "No, we're supposed to be on the sidewalk." No. And the guy looks in, and there was a dude behind the person. It was a 2-passenger mobility scooter. Baloney. It's a motor vehicle under the Highway Traffic Act in Ontario. Anything other than muscular power qualifies as a motor vehicle, and it should be licensed and insured, and it should be on the road. Now we have low speed vehicles, and that wouldn't even qualify for a low speed vehicle because it needs to be insured and have seat belts, and there's a bunch of things going on before these vehicles are just being purchased because someone made them, and other people are buying them. And then you're just doing whatever the heck they want. Anyway, it's more complicated than that. Not everybody is down with and understanding the law. So let's get into dad jokes. I could tell you a pizza joke, but it's kind of cheesy. I like it. We got, what do detectives find on a beach? Something fishy. Why are the mountains a funny place for vacation? They are hilarious. We got Kayla's dad joke. What should you do when there's a deer running next to you, a lion pursuing you, and a pony fleeing from you? Exit the carousel. The button was not buttoning. I paused inappropriately there. What should you do when there's a deer running next to you, a lion pursuing you, and a pony fleeing from you? Exit the carousel. Much better on the second read. This is a dad joke, apparently, from Rizzy, so it's scary. A cop came to my house and asked me where I was between 5 and 6. He was very irritated when I said kindergarten. I like that. If I'm drunk, this was an impair. This is not a dad joke. This was a joke that was asked. It's not a joke. A question asked that I missed. I planned on coming back to it. Forgot. If I am drunk, over 19 years old, and can't drive home, am I allowed to sleep in the car? No, you're carrying control. That is not permitted. You'd have to have no way of starting and driving that vehicle. If you had a time delay lockbox that you could not interfere with, maybe, but you could be arrested for that. What is Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana, 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 banana. Got it. Took me a few seconds to put the Beethoven in my head. Okay. Dad joke from Akila Draconis. I went for a job interview as a blacksmith yesterday. The interviewer asked me if I have ever shoed a horse. I said no, but once I shoed a donkey to skedaddle. I wanted to like that more than I did. I don't hate it. I just didn't like it. It wasn't a rim shot. Okay. My dad told me to call him Fred Flintstone. I asked why. My mom interrupted with, because last night he made the bedrock. What kind of music do wind turbines like? They are big metal fans. I like that one. All right. With that, I say goodbye for a week because I am not back until next Tuesday night for Ask a Traffic Cop After Dark. So if you want to join us, that's where I'll be. Oh, wait. Can you drive with a cracked windshield? It's a problem if the crack is on the driver's side. It is a problem. Yes, your vision is impaired, is interrupted, and it's not stable. So it's a ticket. Unsafe. Zaid Jeff says, I know someone who caught a road rager on dash cam and have the plate, and police advised they will not attempt to charge the ticket as the driver cannot be identified from the video. Is that your experience? You have to be able to, they can do a report online or otherwise. They can create a file. They can write a letter to the registered owner, but they will not simply drive over and lay a charge based on the video. You have to be able to identify the vehicle, time, date, location, speed if speed was involved, and then also the driver. So yeah, that's my experience too. Okay, with that, next week, Tuesday night, 9 p.m. for the late night, 10 a.m. on the Wednesday to do the same thing we did today. It has been a blast. It is always my pleasure to come hang out with y'all. So that's what we're doing. I know there's some more questions that have popped in, but I got to go. So have wonderful, wonderful. Okay, I got to respond to this one. Can I do donuts in an empty parking lot? No, it's stunt driving. And the last one is it illegal to have yellow tinted fog lights? No, fog lights can be yellow. And that's really the end of the show. Have a great one. Drive safe, drive sober, smile, have fun, enjoy the weather, take care of yourself, hydrate, do everything, right. Have a great one.